Okay, now we are going to one of the longer stages of the Wily Fortress. And it's actually the first stage where you can get both tank items in one swoop. So unlike Wily Stage 2 and 3, where you have to choose one tank upgrade over the other, this is the first of a few stages where you can get both tank upgrades in one playthrough. I mean, you don't have to die or anything like that, so that's good. As you could tell from the actual outline during the Fortress Siege, this is mainly a vertical level, and it plays up to that quite a bit. And so you'll find a lot of these little simple one-screen rooms where you can pretty much refill your energy or your weapons or things like that. So take advantage of it when you can. Now we get to one gimmick of the stage, and that's these little conveyor cogs. Gotta be very careful on them. And we have another mini-boss coming up. Yes, Gargo! He's not really much harder than he was in Toadman's stage, so just use all the same techniques and be patient. 3 full Mega Buster Blasts should be enough to finish him off. This is where the route splits. You are intended to go left, but you could also go right up that ladder. But we're going to go left on this little grasshopper thing. Lucky Cricket. I don't even know what it's called. You gotta be careful how you shoot, or those enemies will easily knock you off the cricket and you'll die a horrible, horrible death on the spikes. Okay, getting around this one is very, very tricky. And those are weird enemies. And I don't think they work right. Nope, they don't even work right. So here's a little small section here. Underneath the first tank piece, you can get 1,000 points if you want to. Jumping back is a little bit trickier, so I would recommend the rush jet. Let me come up to the second mini-boss of the stage. Now what it wants you to do is get on those conveyor cogs and fight him from there, but that's just being more risky than you need to be. You can actually reach it from down here on the lower landing, so don't even bother with the cogs, just jump and shoot. And you can actually break off here to the left if you have the Yamato Spear, which you should by this point, but it's going to take some tricky platforming with the spear to make it anywhere on the alternate path. Here's the second gimmick of the stage, something from Cossack's Fortress Stage 2. These little spike blocks that alternate. So you just have to be patient, watch the timing, and then you basically have to jump right before the spikes from the next block switch. Because if you jump a little too early, you'll hit the spikes. If you jump a little bit too late, you'll hit the spikes. One way or another, you'll hit it. So you gotta jump just as they start receding into the block. And here's where the two paths meet up again. You're now well on your way to the mid-boss of the level. That is right. Another MM Hunter is awaiting you at the end. And in this case, it is now Punk. And I believe he's one of the hardest MM Hunters in this game. Inker's pretty bad, but that's not too rough. But Punk, I feel, is one of the worst. So equip yourself with his weakness, if you must, and then go fight him. But in this case, if you recall, we killed him outright in the Robot Master stages with his weakness, which was Magnet Missile. So he doesn't appear here, which kind of harkens back to Megaman X3, where if you killed either Bit or Bite with their weakness, they would not appear in the Doppler stages. So that's kind of a neat, cool thing. So if you want less trouble in the Fortress stages, kill them off in the main Robot Master stages and you should be fine. Now this boss is really annoying. Normally I'd show you how to beat him with the Buster, but because of his just frustration factor, I just want to get this battle over with quickly, so I used the Yamato Spear. He's completely invulnerable until he opens up one of his side hatches, and you gotta take advantage of that. He has 3 different variations on his attacks. He's already shown one. Here's the second variation. And here's here's his trolling beam. You know he's gonna do it when he goes straight down to the bottom. And then of course the more you hit him, the faster he goes. It is just absolutely awful fight. And I would just, well, that was kind of odd. I would just love to see someone who can do a perfect run on this boss, because he is very annoying, very painful, and as you can see, just gets outright ridiculous towards the end. Not even doing very well. And sometimes it's just luck of the draw. The random number generator may not give you the hatch you want. You know, you could be on the right side and he only opens up the left hatch again and again, which is what he's been doing to me. So just bad luck, and you could be having a very tough time with this boss. Out of all the Wily stage bosses, this has got to be the worst. By far. But with that out of the way, I'd say some of the hardest stages in the game are done. First alternate path, you can get up there via the Tornado Blow, or Rush Jet, or Coil. Either the 3 work. And so far this actually alternate path isn't too bad up until the last portion when you try and go for the E-Tank. Okay, I would recommend either having the Centaur Flash ready or your Star Crash ready to get rid of all these enemies as they try and knock you into the abyss. And that's it. That's how you get to the energy tank. Just some tricky platforming. After the second mid-boss, prep your Yamato Spear, and you're going to have to do some tricky platforming here. You're going to have to use the Yamato Spear in ways you didn't really think you could. So basically, there is no way of using Rush Coil, Rush Jet, or any of those things here. Apparently this whole area is designed to ensure that you are forced to use the Yamato Spear in the way that was intended. And I am so glad that the Spike Guard was active at that time, or that would have been a very funny outtake. Now, getting the W tank upgrade is easy. Now, getting out might be a little tricky, though. And this just loops you back up right before the midpoint. And that's all there is to Wily Stage 4.